Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Mitch and the Kitch, and today we're going to be cooking steak. I'm going to show you a couple different methods. One is the sous vide, the other is going to be a reverse sear. Confession time, it's really difficult for me to hone in on that perfect temperature. I tend to overcook a steak, I tend to undercook a steak. The reverse sear and the sous vide are a couple ways to get steak to your perfect doneness. So this is a beautiful bone-in ribeye here. It's a Wagyu steak. It's really marbled, which means a lot of flavor. And this guy is sourced from Kansas City Cattle Company, local, great guys, veterans, and so it's really nice to support them. We got a filet over here, gonna be a leaner cut. Not gonna be quite as flavorful, but the tenderness is gonna be through the roof. So sous vide, that translates to in water. And the advantage is to sous vide, it's gonna cook to the exact temperature you want. I have this set at 132 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about medium. The other advantage is timing. After about an hour, hour 30, depending on the thickness, the steak is done. But the great part is you can let it sit there for about up to 4 hours. Not much is gonna change with the texture. Now the negatives, obviously this takes a lot longer than steak, a traditional steak. Now the reverse sear mimics that in a lot of ways. It just uses the oven to slowly come up to temperature, and then we're gonna sear it on the back end. And so I'm using this FOGO charcoal rub. What this is gonna get for me is a nice charcoal flavor. This looks pretty dark, but you wanna season it like you would normally. Season the sides here, season the other side. We're gonna get it into a vacuum sealed bag. This guy's all done. Drop that in your water. We're gonna go ahead and give that a couple hours or so. Once it's finished cooking, I'm gonna show you how to sear it up, get it perfect. I got that going. I'm gonna show you how to prep the filet for the reverse sear. It's really simple. It's gonna go for about hour 15 at 250 degrees. The reverse sear is gonna allow us to bring it up to the exact temperature that we want. I've got a probe thermometer, gonna tell us exactly what temp it is. I'm gonna cook it to about 142 degrees today. Decent amount of salt here. Flip it over to the other side. Do whatever you like. You know, if you have a really good piece of meat, you really don't need much more than salt and pepper. All right, that's it. We're gonna get that on the wire rack. Now probes, you want to always go to the thickest, most middle part. And now it is ready to go in the oven. Both our steaks are done. So for the sear, you need to make sure you get it nice and dry. So now this was sous vide at 132 degrees. We gotta get this excess moisture off. When we sear it, the moisture is gonna be the downfall of the great crust. A little bit more of that seasoning, a little bit of oil into the pan. Smoky, it's looking good. Steak number one's gonna go in. Gonna get the filet in. About 15 to 30 seconds on each side, and we'll do that for about 2 rounds or until the crust looks nice and delicious. Now just redistributing the oil underneath, get the juices, kind of sprinkle them over. So you can see we're starting that crust on the bottom there. Now I'm gonna add the butter. So the butter is gonna help darken it, it's gonna add a little bit of flavor to it, and we're gonna baste the meat with it as well. The basting is helping to fry it from the top, getting a nice butter flavor into it as well. That's looking beautiful. All right, this guy's done, ready to take it off. These guys with our secret ingredient, compound rosemary, thyme, garlic butter. As it's resting, the butter's gonna melt down. It's gonna be really tasty for us. Our steaks have rested up. We're getting ready to slice into them. You can see they're looking beautiful. This guy, because it's bone in, we need to get it off the bone. Kind of work with the shape of the bone there. As you can see, it's kind of this dull gray color right now. But if we give it 30 seconds or so, it's gonna brighten up. The great part with sous vide is that we know it's 132 degrees. It's never going about 1/3 of an inch thick here. Plate it back in the shape that it was originally. Not as cool as Salt Bae, but some of that nice flaky salt over the top. Cut off a piece, let's see how this guy tastes. That's fantastic. So the first thing, I bite into it, just incredibly tender. We got a nice crust from the sear process. Flavor of the rub is great. I'm really happy with that. Hope you guys try these methods out. If you guys have any suggestions for me for future episodes, please drop a comment, let me know. Thanks for tuning in.